Okay, welcome to our webinar number 2 in our series about innovation ops. Glad you could join us today. We're going to be talking about the power of discovery. My name is Paul Heller, and I'm your host for today's session. I am Sopheon's Chief Evangelist, and in that role, I work with customers. I'm out talking to experts. I'm presenting innovation topics, and I also run a weekly podcast and a newsletter about innovation. And so I often encourage you, if you're interested in innovation topics and want to hear some great discussions with real experts out there, feel free to check us out. It's a weekly podcast. You'll find it on your podcast channels, and you can also get to it from a link when you get these slides. So where we are in the series, in the first webinar 2 weeks ago, we talked about innovation ops and what it was, and we talked about the personnel, organizations, processes, and jobs. And in particular, we had a much more involved slide here, which talks about all the jobs. But now let's talk about where we are. We're going to go through managed discovery today. In a future webinar, we'll be talking about managing products, managing projects, managing portfolio, strategy, and governance. These are the pieces of innovation ops that we're going to be addressing in this webinar series. There's obviously more to innovation ops than this, but this is our starter set for this series, and we hope you will join us for the other videos as well. Today's speaker is Charlie Widdows. Now, Charlie has been, he's Acclaim Ideas product specialist at Sopheon. He actually was a co-founder of an idea management company called Solverboard, and Sopheon acquired that last year. And they're really focused on helping customers maximize the power of ideas within their organizations. He is now the product specialist for Acclaim Ideas, which is our dedicated discovery product. But today we're talking about discovery more so than Acclaim Ideas. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Charlie. Charlie, it's all yours.
Thanks, Paul. I'm just getting my screen ready. Here we go. So I've called this part of the webinar Discovery, the foundation of innovation ops. I guess I would do as the kind of discovery evangelist within the business, but I truly do believe that for a good innovation ops strategy to thrive, getting discovery right and being ready for discovery as a business, because you have to be kind of discovery ready. You need to have that kind of mindset that you can fail fast, and failure is a good thing. Be comfortable with failure, be comfortable with ideas, and comfortable with innovation is a crucial part to then opening up the rest of the innovation ops process to go and deliver the best things that you uncover and you discover for your exploration process. So with that, I'll go into the presentation. And the first thing I want to do is just try and define what value discovery can bring. So value is created in the discovery process when, first of all, risk is reduced. So we're looking to reduce risk at the very early stages of an idea being brought forward to a business, because we want to be able to fail fast. We want to be able to fail cheaply at the beginning of the process and get our ideas de-risked through this discovery process. What that will do in turn is increase confidence in the ideas that we have in the business. And again, it's a very difficult thing to measure how good you are at discovery, but one way that you can start to do that in that kind of quite intangible way is look at how much more confident you are at your ability to deliver those ideas by defining which ones are the best ideas. And that comes into the measurement of discovery, and how do we measure and how do we get more and more confident on the impact of what our ideas will deliver. And as a byproduct of reducing risk and increasing confidence in our discovery process, we'll get the benefit of continuous learning. So through the process of discovery, good discovery, we're learning all the time. And we're learning even on ideas that maybe don't make it through the process. We're still going to be learning about what it is that made them work, what it is maybe that we needed to change in order to make them work, and what was missing from the assessment of those ideas that could make it happen. And so a good discovery process will by default create a knowledge bank of learnings that have been being recorded through the process, meaning that if people leave or move departments, or you get more new people in with new ideas and new ways of solving existing ideas, they can tap into that learning and make sure that knowledge bank is recorded. And I'll come on to a bit more about how companies can capture learnings in a minute. So we're looking at reducing risk, increasing confidence, and getting that benefit of that continuous learning through a good discovery process. So why is discovery fundamental to innovation success? Well, if we look at the process, a typical process through an innovation plan or an innovation journey, we have at the front end here, we have our explore stage, our kind of discovery stage. What discovery will try and do is create candidate options for the organization to take forward and go and deliver in a delivery or execution or project management process. Now, if we ask the question, where does innovation risk lie in this process? Probably the typical answer is, well, it's at the end, it's at the delivery phase, surely, because that's where we're spending the money, that's where we've put the resource into it, that's where we're most likely to uncover stuff that doesn't work. But I would argue that actually the greatest risk in the innovation process really starts at the explore phase. That's where we're grappling with what we would call unknown unknowns. We're making assumptions about whether something will work or not, and we're testing those assumptions, and we're running experiments to decide whether it's not even worth starting this idea because we've already proved at that early stage that it's not going to work. In the execute phase, we're mitigating the risk. We're working with known unknowns. So at that point, we should have done all the testing, the hypothesizing that we need to do, the experimenting we need to do to get over those assumptions and make sure that we are only delivering ideas that should or will work, provided nothing changes in the process to delivery. Obviously, ideas are killed at every stage of the innovation process, and so they should. But if we can get answer the assumptions at the beginning of it, that's where the most risk lies in terms of, if we don't do that phase and we end up delivering, we'll fall at the final hurdle rather than the first one. So getting the discovery phase right and getting those assumptions out and answered is the fundamental process within discovery that we're trying to solve.